Soldier, keep on marching
Here we go.
on.
MCTC.
Head down till the work is done. Waiting on that morning sun. Soldier, keep on marching on. Head in the dust, feet in the fire.
That's where it all started, right
Labor
here.
on that midnight wire.
That's where it all started.
Listening for that angel choir.
Make this right here.
You got nowhere to run.
Hey, this is Chris. I wanted to do this documentary
Wanna
highlighting
take a
my
drink?
experience going into the age of 15, coming home at the age of 34. This is right now we stand on the grounds of MCTC. This is in Hagerstown. Oftentimes when we walk around, I always look at the outside. But the last time I was here, I was in shackles and chains, and I just wanted to get an opportunity to touch ground free. Free mind with a new mind thinking, a new way of living. Um, as I look back at this place, I can touch back to some of the traumas. There was never good times in here. I don't ever want people to think that prison is cool. It's a place that you want to go. Um, but right now, just looking in here, man, House Unit 7. You can get over here. That big building right there, that's where the first housing unit I went to. And I'm gonna do some more videoing as I go down. Um, but like I said, we at MCTC, Hagerstown. I actually did 10 years in this prison. 10 years of my life was spent here. 10 years of pain, brokenness, waiting on money orders, waiting on visits, fighting over the phone, waiting on commissary. 10 years of my life was spent here. So I'm gonna be going through a couple of these prisons that I was incarcerated at. This is being one of the first ones that I touched bases in. Um, I was a juvenile back when I got incarcerated. They mixed the juveniles with the adults. They don't do that now. You have to be 18 years old to touch the compound. But when I went in here, they put me right in with the adults, and I had to catch on fast, and I had to survive. So we're gonna be touching bases on that. You go, like I said, MCTC, taking the scroll. 10 years of my life spent in here. You're gonna make this left right here. Free the men, free the man. Free all the good men. In Housing Unit 8. So right now we at MCIH, which is known as the old jail. I didn't do a whole lot of time here. Most of my time here was in solitary confinement. Um, this is one of the oldest jails in Hagerstown. Might be one of the oldest jails that's still standing in Maryland today. Um, Pretty much this is like an in-house jail. Everything's like in-house and closed in. But just looking at it, man, it's like when you locked in that cell and you only thing you can see is the birds, the only thing you can really see is the stuff you see on TV, and to be able to touch land now, people was in there. We had a lot of lifers, people with 80 years, 50 years, a lot of time. But I didn't do a whole lot of time over here. I'd say about 13 months. But all that was spent in solitary confinement. We had got into it with some guys. They dropped a kite on us. Actually, I ain't really had too much to do with it. But being as though when you from DC or PG area, they labeled us in here. So put all of us on admit, SEG, and Once I left here, they sent me to ECI. But just look at these mountains. You can get around. Just look at these mountains, man. I used to just look at these mountains from in my cell like one day, and I kept dreaming. Like I used to be one of them people. I'd be sipping coffee. I just be looking at these mountains, wondering what's on the other side of these mountains. Because when you be confined for so long, especially in this area, it's a lot of history. But like, it seemed like it's nothing out here. I'm in the middle of nowhere. But on the other side of these mountains, there's a little town. It's a nice little area out here. But the ultimate goal, I just wanted to touch ground as a free man, like to be able to put my feet on this soil, to say, you didn't defeat me. Depression, you didn't defeat me. Stress, you didn't defeat me. The lawyers, the state's attorney, everybody who said you was gonna come home, you was gonna be a part of that 75% of recidivism. That's all nothing but a lie. You get what I'm saying? So free all the men, free the man, free the fighters, all the ones who sitting behind it, still sitting behind it, who I left behind. I left a lot of good men behind, a lot of good men I get at when I can, you know. But now we about to go over to the hill. We're gonna drive up on it. We're gonna drive up the hill. This the hill. We on the hill. We on the hill. All right, we on the hill right now. If you look straight across the street, this is like a minimum work release, pre-release. This basically where they send you at once you your law when you get within 5 years of your sentence. Um, this is pretty much where I was at, like I want to say the last 6 to 8 months of my sentence before they sent me to this place called the Jude House. So pretty much on the hill, you like pretty much in the dorm, and you get more activities, more rec, and then when you get the pre-release, you get to actually work on the outside. But I just came down here to highlight, these three places was a very intimate part of my incarceration. It was also like it's what really built me up. The time where I ripped the Bible up, I stopped believing in God. I fought with God. I had arguments with God. Like, if you so much of this great God, why you allow me to go through some of these circumstances that I had to go through? So it's kind of like I get those feelings, those emotions. Being on this land, it put me back in them cells for a moment, because some of the stuff I forgot about. To be honest with you, a couple of my good friends, Robert Clark, passed away. Seeing some of them, some people, man, get hit up in front of me. Some people, man, getting cancer, going out with diabetes. So we back pretty much here. And if you could spin around and show the camera a little bit, yeah, yeah. This was the last place I left. And when my judge had basically gave me my time back, um, it didn't even feel real. They told me pack up. I packed my stuff. They put me in the shackles and chains and drove me down Wardolph. And that's the last time I looked back on this place. So our next stop is ECI, Eastern Shore Correctional Training Center.
Hey, that's right, bring it back. Memories. This is woo. I ain't never scared.
So we at Eastern Correctional Institution out here and on the Eastern Shore. This was another jail that I spent a little bit of time at. Mostly it was on solitary confinement. So this one I decided to stay in the car. Unfortunately, when I got to Hagerstown, they pulled up on me and asked me why am I doing recordings outside the jail. So to save the headache, I'm sitting inside the car. But this is the jail that broke me. This is the one that really broke me. I did 15 months in solitary confinement, assaulting an officer, assaulting an inmate. Um, yeah, so I was on the east side. My duration, housing to five. I went from housing to seven to housing to five. But you're not gonna get that much good footage over here. You can face the camera, let them see. It's not that much good footage that you're gonna be able to see. But this is Eastern Correctional Institution out here in Eastern Shore. As you see. So it's two sides here. You got an east side and you got a west side. I was on the east side. So this prison is mainly like a lot of gang members, Bloods, Crips, DMI, BGF, Murder Inc. This is gangland. Yep. So this was the first prison my grandmother actually visited one of her children or grandchildren. Um, she said I would never come into a prison because I lost nothing in there. I don't have no place to be in there. But I was the first grandchild or child that she ever came and visit. It was 2009. She ended up passing away shortly after that. But during my duration in prison, I lost my father, both grandparents, um, uncles, aunts, cousins, and then when I came home, I lost my mother and my brother. But to just to what I'm saying, this right here brings back a lot of like memories of being in solitary confinement, um, trying to survive behind a door. You know, it's a little different from Hagerstown. It's a little bit more. If you lock down, you lock down. On lockup, solitary confinement here, they got levels. So after you do good for a certain level, they allow you to get 6 items of commissary, drink mix. You might can get some potty mix, uh, some Doritos, but it's not nothing real significant. It's just you get 6 items of commissary. You come out, you can use the phone. Um, but yeah, this is really where this is the jail that I can really say this jail broke me. This one I knew I was done, but I learned a lot throughout all the jails and prisons I was in. But I was in the cell with my uncle here for like 90 days. I met a lot of good men here. I actually got a homie that's here right now. Free him, free my man G. But so mainly my focus, it really was on getting out of prison, but it was surviving solitary confinement. And I'm not going to share too many prison stories because my mission for coming here is to place my feet on this soil, you know, to say that this didn't defeat me, this didn't make me tap out, this didn't deter me from serving God, this didn't deter me from being a person that God had called me to be. But I will share this, that in the summertime, all the other prisons, the windows open up like a regular window. But when they get hot, this prison, the windows open up like this. So literally, you gotta wait for the wind to come down and come up in your room. So people would, if you didn't have a fan, especially on lockup, you can't have a fan. So what people do is they take paper and they form it so when the wind come up and it blows in your room, it can actually get on you. But another thing, it gets so hot in these cells that we'll take a trash bag and pour water in it, and then we'll just waddle in the water, just to stay cool. So it's just some of the stuff that I had to learn here. I had to learn how to fish. The cell's not like MCTC. Underneath your door, you have a gap at Hagerstown. Here, you have a gap like this. So we had to take coffee bags, rip sheets up, and I actually learn how to fish all the way down across the hall just to get a shot of coffee, just to get a noodle or what have you. So there's some of the memories that I have seeing my grandmother for the first time. You feel what I'm saying? The first time, since I was sentenced, and that'd be my last time. You know, but that's just some of the memories, man. I touch bases here. You know, I actually got put out of this prison. I got put out of all the prisons I was in, but this is where I did most of the solitary confinement straight, 15 months, 6 months visit laws, 6 months good time, good conduct taken, for assaulting inmate, assaulting staff. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have more clips to come. Just want to deal with the healing, the trauma. Sometimes, and the way I look at things, sometimes you got to go back to those places where that trauma began to seek that healing, and that's part of the process of why I said this is a part of my bucket list. I want to be able to touch this ground on the outside and look in versus the inside looking out. So I just want to thank y'all. This is Chris coming to you again, on my journey to my healing. God bless.